Hi, John. How are you?
Peter, I'm great, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome, John, and indeed welcome to the Business Spotlight. Thanks very much for taking the time to chat with me today. John, could we start? Could you tell me a little about yourself and your background and your business journey?
Yeah, certainly. So initially I started off in software development and then I moved into project management. So at a more granular level, I started off life as a junior developer, then developer, senior, and then moved into junior project manager role, project manager, program manager, and then ultimately portfolio manager. My career as a developer was ad hoc. I would develop products, they would go to markets, some would succeed and some would fail. So those that failed usually then resulted in redundancy, i.e., it was my redundancy. So after that happened several times, I realized I'm building what I'm being told. The failure is either being the project management or the initial business direction for the product. So I did feel that this is a case I can do a better job. If I had more control over the project and the business direction, I can safeguard my own employment position and provide more value to the business with a successful product delivery.
And help me understand what your journey has been like with Fern, please.
So I joined the company as a project manager. I've been working for some large American corporations. Joining a privately owned company was a bit of a culture shock for myself. Started as project manager, and then over a 5 year period, it was customer support manager, general manager, managing director for UK, Ireland, and then ultimately global managing director. I joined Fern April 1st of 2015, so joining on April Fool's Day, Peter, I should have realized how this was going to go.
Very good. Well, you're coming up to 10 years. So, did you envisage that whenever you joined back in 2015, John, that you would end up in global MD in 10 years or less than
No,
10 years?
no, and there was never any master plan on my part either. Um, I actually watched my own parents who were self-employed, and I concluded that I would never manage or own a business. So life is full of contradictions. I grew organically into the role, so as different challenges appeared, as we successfully navigated that particular turbulence, I was fortunate that the company then rewarded myself, and I've had the career progression that I have had. In my working career, I always worked desperately hard, and to be honest, a lot of the time it was never actually recognized. So I am thankful for the opportunity and the recognition. I definitely have strategic vision. I know where I want to take the company. I can see the opportunities either available or what we have self-created also. So I'm very excited about the future and the possibilities. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the global financial services market is so big. All I need is a tiny slither of the market, and I'm going to remain successful and also grow.
And so, let's talk a little about that tiny sliver, John. So, who would be your target market? Who works best with Fern?
It's anyone within the financial services sector. So my traditional clientele base is the credit unions, CDFIs, microfinance institutions, and development banks. So Fern develops a core banking solution and other complementary products. So this allows a financial institution to manage their own customer base with a variety of different lending and software products. We do the transactional processing, collections, integrated general ledger, document management, etc. We're basically a one-stop shop, cloud-based hosted and with open APIs. So that means we can then plug in complementary fintech services. So plug in a electronic signature partner, plug in a credit referencing bureau partner, plug in anti-money laundering, all these complementary services that will um, enhance then my core banking product. The company became a Salesforce partner then in January of 2021, and this allowed us to develop a product called Quantum AI. This is a artificial intelligence driven automated loan decision engine. I currently have this deployed with production clients in the UK, Irish, and the Singaporean financial institutions. Quantum AI has reduced the loan decision-making time from days to 2 to 3 minutes. So we've brought well over 1000% efficiency savings, picked up, I think it's now 8 international innovation awards, including a World Bank award that got presented in August of this year in São Paulo, Brazil. We got Best Innovation Product Europe. So Fern, we've never been as big, we've never been as financially stable, but more importantly, we've never had the opportunities which we currently have. So tier one and tier two banks are now registering as prospects, which before Salesforce partnership would not have been possible.
And how have you managed the transition from developer through the various different roles to MD from on a personal level?
So approaching things as a developer makes you very technical and very logical thought pattern. Moving into project management, it is similar because I'm at point A and I want to be at point B. Normally there's say 6 or 7 steps that you have to take. As a developer, you would write in maybe 6 or 7 different functions, whereas on the project plan, that is then specific tasks. It is logical thought, so that side of the transition, fine. Your typical developer normally wants their headsets on and they're typing at the keyboard, and that's fine for that type of very technical person. So it's it's it was really nice actually having more social engagement, speaking with the end customer, understanding better what is the actual product, because as a developer you aren't always given full visibility. You're told to go and do ABC, and you're thinking, well, why am I doing this? What does actual function, or what's the actual real reason for me doing this? So you definitely get better visibility of the end-to-end process, which is good, and ultimately control also, which goes back to our original question.
And what would you say has been your biggest lesson? If you look back now over the last 4 years as MD, what's been your biggest lesson along the way?
Well, I can probably give you a list here. So spread your risk. Always think of redundancy within your business plan. Identify your key staff, support and develop them. Run multiple product lines across multiple vertical markets. If you can, operate internationally across multiple currency markets. Fern is very flexible. I'll accept payments in sterling, euros, USD. Always follow the invoice wherever that may take you. Once you land a customer in one country, you then have a local reference site, and that's a opportunity to then cluster more and more customers within that particular region. And people all across the world, they are the same. I want a job, I want education, I want access to medical treatment, and I want access to credit, which is then where the Fern Software product lines come in.
And life and business are full of surprises. What's been the biggest surprise along your business journey?
I would say how people interpret Fern's success. So when people say, John, you're really lucky, you have customers in so many countries around the world, and it gives me the rage. Luck had nothing to do with it. There was an opportunity. The opportunity was pursued. There's literally man weeks worth of effort goes into any tender selection process. Someone had to book a flight, pack a suit, and physically go to all of these exotic places also as well. There is a substantial amount of groundwork goes into the selection process for a core banking platform. We tender for business in so many countries across the world with different start dates, which can run for many, many months. And typically what happens is 2 or 3 will land on the same day across 2 or 3 different continents. It's a bit like waiting on their buses sometimes. Supporting customers which are in countries with serious civil strife, or who have gone through military coups, or for geopolitical reasons they've been disconnected from the SWIFT international payment system. This all brings a very unique challenge, and this was never in the job description either whenever I applied.
Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, it's interesting just what springs up along. But that's a great share. What are there any? Is there any one, or have there been any people that have influenced you along the way in your journey?
Oh, absolutely, yes. So Eamon Scullin is Fern's company founder and he is owner. So setting up and managing a business is difficult. It's a master which requires a huge amount of constant attention. Eamon not only built a local business, but a global operation. Belfast HQ and then Fern offices in Toronto, Dublin, Amsterdam, India, Singapore, and Brisbane. Clients in 35 countries around the world, operating in multiple different vertical markets within the financial services sector, supporting customers which focus on ethical lending within emerging markets across 4 different languages on every single continent. And to achieve all of this without any external investment, to build and retain 100% control is a fantastic achievement. Then I'm then blessed because we are 100% privately owned. We have complete control over the company and how we conduct business. We are able to make decisions very, very quickly. We don't cogitate over things. A decision that's made, and we then move on. So the monkey has jumped off Eamon's back onto mine, which is further then motivation to protect and also build Eamon's legacy. Um, Innovation is what Eamon was constantly driving for. Many businesses fail because they don't constantly reinvent either themselves or their product lines. You must look at the markets, identify early what the next big thing is, invest, develop, and have a product ready to ride that wave whenever the hype breaks. So a good example for Fern, identified back in must have been mid 2018, AI was going to be truly massive. So we planned and developed our quantum AI product. When the hype broke in Q1 of 2022, I had 5 production clients already available as reference sites. So our timing, it was perfect.
And John, other than that monkey that you described, what gets you out of bed in the morning and drives your passion for the business?
I've got over 120 reasons. So globally, that's my head account. There is motivation to support and develop each member of staff. My greatest asset and liability will always be my direct Fern Software employees. Projects are going to succeed or die because of people. People cause drama or they do great and fantastic work. My role as managing director, I must inspire and drive the company forward. Each employee must excel to be the best they can possibly be. Anything else is going to be a failure on my part. We've got no glass ceilings within the company either. Regardless of your class or grade, everyone is judged purely on their merit with the opportunity to go anywhere. Suppose the best example is each director at Fern Software has climbed the slippery pole of career advancement. Myself and my other co-directors have come from a variety of different backgrounds, customer support engineers, developers, trainers, project managers. Directors at the company are operational also as well, so no one flies at 45,000 feet. I love to see new development and advances. I love the creation of ideas and watching their development from a pen and paper exercise to actual product, live onto production for the end customers, and then customer feedback either about the products or the services. But I really want to hear feedback about my own employees.
And what would you say if in the unlikely event you were stranded on a desert island and could listen to a podcast or read a book, what would you go for?
I go for the Bible. So my life and work life is grounded with a Christian faith. On some days I win, and some days I lose on that front. A lot of my international staff tell me they like working for Fern because we are a UK or a Western business, and because of the way that they are treated, which is irrelevant. The company's country of origin, a company's country of origin has got no bearing on how it treats employees or conducts business. Due to the amount of international travel I do, it's a wonderful opportunity to not only be an ambassador for Fern, but then also get opportunities whereby I can speak about my own faith as well.
And if you could invite any three people alive or dead, John, to a dinner party, who's coming?
My two grandfathers first, which I never met, both unfortunately had passed on before I was born. So meeting them would have given me a better understanding of my own family background. And John Cleves, actually, so the comedian from Fawlty Towers, with the drama of life, it's always important to be able to laugh and have people who make you laugh with you. It's a good thing as well.
Very good. And if it were possible, John, and you could go back in time and dish out some advice to the young, fresh-faced 18-year-old John, what would that sound like?
Oh, that's a good question. In the grand scheme of things, you live in a bubble. You've got no real idea of what's truly going on. Have faith in your own ability, develop skin like a dinosaur as soon as possible, and never be afraid to backpedal. If you walk through a door into the wrong room, it's better to acknowledge I'm in the wrong place, back out and try a different door. I suppose finally, as managing director, you will have all the power, but your life is not your own either.
Very good. And if someone likes what they've heard, John, and would like to reach out to Fern or to yourself, what would be the best way for them to go about that?
You can contact me directly on my email address, so that's john.mcgucken@fernsoftware.com.
Superb. Well, John McGucken from Fern Software, thanks very much for chatting with me today. It's been great to hear about a local business that is now a global business, and congratulations on your succession through that business. I wish you all the success for what we've got left of this year and beyond. So, John, thanks very much indeed.
Peter, thank you. It's been a pleasure.